Well, hello, boys and girls. It is Mr. Brousson again. And last time, remember when we finished the lesson about humans farming the prairies, we said that the next lesson was going to be about an animal. But actually, I decided to do it about two animals, two living organisms, and how they change their landscape. It's going to be up to you to discover that today. You are going to be investigating, okay? So I'm not going to give you the learning target yet. I am going to ask you to do something, all right? So hang tight. I want you to open a document that is titled Beavers and Termites. Beavers and Termites, okay? And this is what I want you to do. I want you to write what you know about beavers and what you know about termites. What do you know about beavers? What do you know about termites? Whatever you know, just write it down, okay? Because we're going to be investigating those two animals today. Whatever you know about beavers and whatever you know about termites, okay? So beavers and termites. So just in case that you didn't know what a beaver looks like, here is a picture of it, okay? And here is a picture of termites. Take a good look at it, okay? Here is the beaver again. Look at it. Yup, that's what they look like. And here are termites. Here are the termites again, okay? So take a good look at those. So now let's go over our learning target. And you might have an idea already based on the last lesson and what we've already done. So today is I can explain. What do you think you'll be able to explain today? Well, I can explain how beavers and termites, oh, wait a minute, not termites, and termites change. What do you think? Change what? Change their landscape. So I can explain how beavers and termites change their landscape. Oh, I shouldn't have a capital letter there because that's not a new sentence. Change their landscape. So last time we looked at how humans change the landscape, but today we're looking at these two organisms, beavers and termites, and how they change their landscape. So let's examine. Let's investigate. What do all organisms want to do? What do they want to do? What do they need to do? All organisms, all living organisms, regardless, plants, animals, what do they want to do? You got it. Survive. They need to survive. And what do living organisms need to survive? Do you remember? What are those things that all living organisms need to survive? What are those things? That's right, food, water, shelter, space, oxygen, all of those things. I want you to find the document that says changing the landscape, okay? Changing the landscape. Find that. And what I want you to do, okay, just from the knowledge that you have about beavers and just from the knowledge that you have about termites, I want you to write maybe 3 things for each on how you think they change their landscape. How do you think that it happens? Okay? How do you think? Just from what you know about beavers and just from what you know about termites, how do you think that they change their landscape? So take maybe 5 minutes, or it might take a little bit longer, okay? You could even ask some of your classmates if you are on a breakout room, or you could ask a little sister or brother or big sister or big brother or someone there that knows. How do you think that beavers and termites change the landscape? So go right ahead, find the document and start, okay? So did you find it? Did you find the document? So one column is how do beavers change their landscape and how do termites change their landscape. Just from what you know, okay? And maybe you can ask somebody a question, but don't look in your computer yet, just from what you know. So just pause the video and just investigate your brain and see what information you have. So did you do it? So now that you wrote what you had here from some information that you knew from the past, maybe books that you read or things that you saw on TV or a movie or your dad or your mom told you, now I want you to investigate, okay? So I want you to click on the link that says Beavers, okay? It's a website, okay, that says Beavers. And it is long, so it's gonna take you a little bit to go through that website, but it has some 8 interesting facts about beavers. And I want you to find specifically how they change their landscape, okay? You're gonna find there some things on how they change their landscape. So you're gonna have to go down, scroll, read everything and see how it is that beavers change their landscape. So read the article in your computers, and when you finish with that, when you finish reading, then go back to the document that you already filled out with things from your brain, and now write things that you found out in that website, okay? So now go back to that graphic organizer and write now things that you found out on how beavers change their environment, okay? Now I want you to click on the video that is titled Termites, okay? It's a YouTube video. I think it's about 4 minutes, maybe, no, less than that. It's like 2 minutes, 40 seconds, okay? I want you to click on that and I want you to watch it carefully. And then when you finish watching the video, and you can watch it a couple of times, you can go back to the graphic organizer and then write, now that you know more about termites, how do they change the environment, okay? So now you have what you thought about beavers and about termites and how you thought they changed the environment, but now you have some facts on how they actually change the environment. So we are going to look at some of those together, okay? So let's look at some of those together and make sure that you got all of that, all right? The article actually said that they can change a landscape as good as humans can, right? So they love to be in wet places, and they can take that landscape and make it from a forest to a pond. They can also very easily dam a river, so they can actually change the course of a river by putting a lot of wood there, and so they make sort of like a pond, right? So that's another way that they change it. So they can cut a lot of trees down, they can change the course of a river. What else do you find there? What else do you find there in that article? Also, sometimes they forget, well, they don't really know, they didn't really know that there were humans there, and they go where they used to live, and they'll go ahead and keep doing their stuff. They'll keep cutting trees, and they'll keep doing all kinds of things. So humans sometimes don't like them that much. But they can definitely change the landscape almost as fast as humans can, or maybe about the same rate that humans can. One thing that I've noticed is that when humans change the environment, many times, not always, but many times, the effects are pretty damaging. So when we change the landscape, we tend to do a lot of damage to the ecosystem. But when animals change the landscape, like a beaver or like termites, or there are many others that we could have talked about today, it's really not as detrimental, it's not as harmful as when humans do it, okay? But the fact of the matter is that humans, animals, living organisms actually can change their landscape. Now, the landscape can change them as well, as we looked at the other lessons that we did last week when I was in Michigan. But they can also change their landscape. So living organisms can do what? They can. And now we know that termites can make super huge mounds, big mountains that were not there before. So for sure, They can change the landscape. Even after they die, those mountains stay there. So they can change the landscape for a long time. Change. They can change. We can change. Living organisms can change the landscape by trying to survive. We can change it. Now, to finish the lesson, this is what I like to do, okay? What I like to do is for you to, in your notebooks or in your Google Docs or in your binders, I want you to write how beavers and termites change their landscape. I want you to do it as a paragraph. So you start with something like, beavers change their landscape by, and then put all the evidence there. And you can also say then, for the next one, you'll say, and termites change their landscape by, and then you write how they change that, okay? So that's how you would know that you reached the target, that beavers and termites change their landscape, okay? So by writing that, now you make sure that you actually reached that learning target that we set at the beginning of the lesson, okay? Understand? So now you write it as a paragraph, okay? So once you do that, our lesson is finished. So now you go do that, and I will see you next time. And next time we are going to look at a beautiful city, and you will see how that beautiful city is related to the landscape and living organisms. Okay? I'll see you later. Bye-bye.